9292. The email is heather@newstalkzb.co.nz. I'll tell you what I'd be keen to see is this new Humato protest thing obviously went a little quiet over the weekend, which is fantastic news for the government especially. So nobody needs that while the Prime Minister's out of the country. But while the Prime Minister's out of the country, who's in charge? Is of course Winston Peters, Deputy Prime Minister. He is fronting media right now as we speak at a post-cabinet press conference. There is no doubt he is going to be asked about it. It's a difficult one for him, I'd imagine, and I'm quite keen to see how he answers it, because he's never shown much enthusiasm for treaty settlements, has he? Called the whole business around them a gravy train. So I'm keen to see how he handles this one. It'll be interesting to see if he comes down on the side of the protesters. I doubt that very much. Or if he comes down on the side of Fletcher's deal, which would be more like him, or if he just basically stays out of it and employs his diplomacy and just doesn't get involved. We will keep you posted on what he has got to say. It's now 4:20. Sport is next.
News Talk ZB Auckland. Time saver traffic.
Hair loss can beat you, or you can beat it. The Southern Motorway has that crash at Drury under the Bremner Road overbridge. It's blocking the left northbound lane. Traffic is pretty bad both ways, and the overbridge itself closed. Otherwise, southbound Newmarket to Green Lane to get at Monaco. The northern has picked up into the bridge. Turn that suckiness into luckiness. Search Ashley and Martin and make today your turning point.
If you're serious about protecting your home and family, an interactive smart alarm from ADT can help. You can activate your alarm remotely, get video sent directly to your phone when motion is detected, and have peace of mind knowing your home is protected with 24/7 security and smoke monitoring. Get all this installed from $499 with professional monitoring from $49.95 per month. Visit adtsecurity.co.nz. T's and C's apply. Total minimum cost for installation and 30-month alarm monitoring contract is $1997.50. Typically, organising a business loan just bogs you down in details and extra paperwork. But not with Prosper. Apply for free online or by phone in just 10 minutes. Get a quick decision and funding is possible in 24 hours. So for a business loan that lets you get on with your business, talk to Prosper. Call 0800 005 797 or visit prospa.co.nz. T's, C's and lending criteria apply. Credit licence 454782.
Getting a little something extra is always nice, like when you get upgraded from economy to business class.
Champagne?
Digital Island's Digimax fibre broadband plan is super fast at speeds of almost 900 megs. For just $119 plus GST per month, you get a business grade solution backed by industry leading service and same day restore. You also get a free router, free installation and free first month. Go to digitalisland.co.nz. T's and C's and a 24-month term apply.
Attention ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Make sure you check in at the new Chemist Warehouse, now open at Auckland Airport Shopping Centre.
With the biggest range of health and beauty essentials at the lowest prices and free prescriptions, they're open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. till 9 p.m. The new Chemist Warehouse, corner of George Bolt Memorial Drive, Auckland Airport Shopping Centre, next to the warehouse in Countdown. Chemist Warehouse, also located in Glen Innes, Albany, Botley, Henderson, St Luke's, Monaco and Westgate. Chemist Warehouse, great savings every day. T's and C's apply.
Straight to the point. It's Heather Duplessis Allen Drive. Thanks to sparksport.co.nz. Get your Rugby World Cup 2019 tournament pass now on News Talk ZB.
Coming up 4:23, joining me now is Kent Johns, host of the Radio Sport Breakfast. Hiya, Kent.
How you doing, Heather?
Oh, I'm very well, thank you. So we had the old, we're all very excited about it. We Bowden Barrett versus Richie Mo'unga, both on the paddock at the same time. It was supposed to be this magical thing. Did it fire for you or not?
I kind of did in the second half. I thought they were patchy in the first half. I think if you put Bowden Barrett kind of fair to middling goal kicking to one side, he had quite a good game at fullback. Mo'unga looked like he was rushed in the first half, Heather. I thought the All Blacks looked really good in the first, I think they called it the third quarter, in the first half of the second half. I think that's when the All Blacks looked at their best. We know the South Africans were able to burgle and draw at the back end. I think there's enough to work on there. It depends how you see it. It's either very late in a World Cup cycle to be taking your world's best number 10 supposedly and changing the position, or it's not too late to do what you know is the right thing. I really think Damien McKenzie's injury cocked things up for them. I think he'd be at fullback, Barrett would be at 10 ordinarily. They're hell-bent on having two drivers, one guy on either side of the field with a good kicking game, a good run, pass game, all of that. Both those guys are talent, aren't they, Heather? I think they're sticking with it. I think they're kind of obliged to now.
Ken, I see that there's some commentary saying, goodness, it is a bit late because the next few games are not really enough to test them. But I'm not really sure that I don't think I believe that. I think that actually these two guys, there's a little bit of nerves, especially on Mo'unga's part. I think the pair of them together, they're both good enough to actually make it work in the next 3 games or so, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think for me, you go from a quarterfinal and work backwards. A quarterfinal at a World Cup is minimum for the All Blacks. We know, even with a loss against South Africa here, that they're making the quarterfinals. There's no doubt about that, which means they've got 4 pool games as well as these next 3 games to try and bet in combination. So for me, what you want to see would be those guys firing, playing their best rugby in a quarterfinal, and then if they're good enough, a semi-final and then a final. So for me, if you look at it that way, they've actually got 7 games to get up to speed. Now, if they can't get up to speed by a quarterfinal, then it hasn't worked, and there obviously will be questions that would need to be answered. But I don't see it as these guys having to be perfect come game 1 of a World Cup. I think they've got an extra month on top of that to come right.
Okay. Now, explain to me what's happened with the Warriors. It seems to me that, because look, I'll be honest with you, don't really follow the league, but I do get the feeling that there's been some tough calls for these guys. So can you fill me in here?
Oh, where do you want to start? Over the weekend, they didn't get the rub of the green, 50-50 call at the back end, the forward pass against Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. I would not have called it forward, but I don't think it was an egregious call. I don't think it's one that you would sit there and stamp your feet about. Heather, the problem is they were penalised off the park. They got some poor decisions go against them across the 80 minutes in a game where they lost late in a really important game. And given the run home for the Warriors, and they've shown an inability this season to beat good teams, that was a troublesome loss, and I think it really stung. What it does do too, sadly, and I don't buy this theory that the Warriors get treated worse than anybody else, but we got confirmation bias on the weekend for those people that believe they do. The referees were poor, and the Warriors got stuffed on a couple of calls. Now you get, of course, people buying into this notion that they always get gypped, and it didn't look good for the NRL referees.
Yeah, I know. I'm hearing that come through, and it makes it so hard for them to get now into the top part of this league, doesn't it? Black Cats are playing Sri Lanka, and they're naming 4 spinners. Good call.
Can you believe this? Yeah, I think so. Judging by recent history, I think England played there not so long ago, Heather, and they bowled 3 spin bowlers and might have used 1 paceman. So, geez, I mean, you look at Tim Southee, Neil Wagner, and Trent Boult, pretty good pace lineup. They might use 1, if not 2. Colin de Grandhomme's there or thereabouts as well, so they might even go in with just 2 pacemen, which would mean both Wagner and Southee would miss out, which would seem quite extraordinary. But given those conditions, maybe they go in with 3 spin bowlers. Astel's back in the side. Ajaz Patel, who did such a good job a few months ago with Will Somerville, they're back in. And, of course, you've got Mitchell Santner, who's their all-rounder. Where it's of interest to me, Heather, is how you squeeze all of those guys into the one team. 9 of the World Cup 15 are in that Test squad, and I don't know whether there's a strong appetite for Test cricket off the back of a Cricket World Cup, but it's what we've got, and it just shows you, with the Ashes starting on Thursday, that even after the big highs and the lows and all the emotive appeal of a Cricket World Cup, the calendar just ticks over. It's like we just roll on to the next damn series.
Yeah, I know. These poor guys probably need a mental health day. Ken, thanks so much. It's Kent Johns, host of the Radio Sport Breakfast. Heather, so National have stolen another Labour policy and they're using it as their own. No surprises there. National once again playing with people's lives, trying to put one over Labour. Atrocious. National have hit rock bottom. There's a text, 428.
There's been changes in the property investment market, like the Healthy Homes Act or asbestos. Stay on top of change. Speak with the team at Crockers. With over 45 years looking after rental properties, experience the Crockers difference. Go to crockers.co.nz. Flight Centre has exclusive airfares on sale now at Qantas. Fly return to Phuket from just $899, or explore Johannesburg or Cape Town from $1,299. Conditions apply. Call 0800 888 748.
At Tower, we're on a mission to simplify insurance. That means complicated insurance language is out, but big savings are in. Get a huge 20% off any new car, house or contents policy by simply signing up at tower.co.nz. T's and C's apply.
Choosing a company to repair your vehicle glass? Check our website and see what thousands of happy customers say about Smith & Smith. You'll see why we're the country's preferred vehicle glass repairer.
Here's a groundbreaking announcement.
Really? Maybe you've heard of Mainbridge Civil Contractors. They love breaking new ground, subdividing your section, organising a build, or even a large subdivision. Make sure you get a quote from Mainbridge. With 40 years' experience behind them, they're the civil contractors who'll make the earth move. Visit mainbridge.co.nz or 0508 Mainbridge.
Hey, adults, we just need you. You can help give us the freedom to ride to school, walk to school, scooter and bike to school, just like you did when you were kids. We need you to slow down around our schools. We need you to slow down so we can get to school and home again safely, making our own way like you did.
Slow down around schools. From Auckland Transport.
And us kids.
There's no one better. The Mike Hosking Breakfast.
Are you now in catch-up mode given what Bridges did this weekend?
We all want to see action on cancer, and that's what the government is getting on and doing.
Blair Vining doing what he's done, does that embarrass the government? Why should a sick man be doing your job?
We've inherited a system that cancer care does differ.
What's taking so long?
It's the stuff about getting it right.
6 till 9 weekdays. The Mike Hosking Breakfast on News Talk ZB. New for 2019 is Heather Duplessis Allen Drive with Spark Sport. This is News Talk ZB News.
It's 4:30. I'm Raylene Ramsey. A 63-year-old man has been charged with the murder of a woman in West Auckland. The quiet suburb of Massey was upended this morning by screams on Westgate Drive, reportedly as a woman was being stabbed. A man who police say was known to the victim is due in court tomorrow. An iwi tribal authority member says he'll lay a complaint with police over the Prime Minister's interference in the Ihumato dispute. Te Kaurau Amaki had made a deal with Fletchers to build on the contested land. But on Friday, Jacinda Ardern announced to halt building until the dispute's resolved. David Rankin says she's used her position to interfere in a legal transaction.
She's interfering with Māori business and trying to obstruct, the advancement of the Kaurau Maki people.
A key step towards local leadership in Christchurch. That's how the Regeneration Minister Megan Woods is viewing the global settlement proposal. Chief political reporter Alex Mason says it returns ownership of major work in the earthquake-shattered city's recovery.
Christchurch City Council will have ownership of some central city anchor projects in the residential red zone. But who will own and run the multi-use arena is yet to be decided. Woods said it's good the Crown can start to step back and the Council can lead the next regeneration phase. The Council and Cabinet will now consider the deal.
A truck has hit a bridge on Auckland's southern motorway, causing delays for drivers heading north into the city. The driver called police after hitting the leg of the Bremner Road overbridge near the Drury interchange. The overbridge is closed and only one northbound lane below is open. In sport, all four officials involved in the Warriors' controversial loss to the Eels at the weekend have been dropped to reserve grade. Head of referees Graham Annesley has confirmed the news during his regular post-round media briefing. New Zealand cricket captain Kane Williamson is welcoming the start of the Test Championship, with his side preparing to head to Sri Lanka for 2 tests next month. The Black Caps head to Colombo on Friday. I'm Raylene Ramsey. That's News Talk ZB News and Sport. To 4:33, Heather Duplessis Allen is moments away.
News Talk ZB Auckland. Time saver traffic.
Thinking about heat bumps, think to Sheba to the southern first, where the traffic is southbound to that crash, which is actually in the northbound lane, is getting right back there. Update us with that. It's currently at Takanini, the tail for it, so we'll join up with that Manukau traffic very, very soon. And northbound just crawling through there at Drury. The southwestern slow approaching the southern link. Think to Sheba, the heat bump the experts choose.
When you're buying or selling gold or silver, it's important to deal with a company that has a good reputation, with a company that has a solid track record with its customers, with a company like Regal Bullion. For over 40 years, Regal Bullion has been trading precious metals in New Zealand. Regal are New Zealand's primary distributor for the Perth Mint. When you're buying or selling gold or silver, Regal Bullion. 0800 881 888 or regal.co.nz.
Don't let that stone chip on your windscreen turn into a crack. Our repairs take just 30 minutes, so we'll get you back on the road fast. And with more locations than anyone else, you know we're convenient.
The New Zealand Symphony Orchestra with music director Ado Javard presents the NZSO Beethoven Festival. Don't miss your chance to hear some of the greatest music ever written as your NZSO performs all 9 Beethoven symphonies over 2 weekends. Fridays and Saturdays, the 16th and 17th, and 23rd and 24th of August, Auckland Town Hall. Book now at Ticketmaster. Presented in association with the New Zealand Herald.
There's zero excuses during our winter sales event. Hi, Trevor here from Mercedes-Benz Auckland. Now's the time for you to receive exceptional savings across our range of demonstrator and pre-owned vehicles, including Mercedes AMGs. With some of the sharpest pricing and most attractive interest rates, you'll have zero excuses for not taking advantage of this opportunity. Trust me, we've never been more serious about seeing you drive away in your dream Mercedes-Benz. So visit us now, Mercedes-Benz Auckland in Newmarket, before July 31st.
Hi, Steve here from Ian Home Flooring. Wool carpet creates a warmer, drier, healthier home. I'll make your choice easier at Ian Home Flooring.
Making your choice easier. Ian Home Flooring.
Plug in and turn it up. New for 2019 is Heather Duplessis Allen Drive with sparksport.co.nz. Find out what you need to be Rugby World Cup ready on News Talk ZB.
I don't care when I'm with my baby. All the time, you're making me feel maybe I am somebody.
So here's an update from that as a shooting in California. A spokesperson for a local medical centre said they were treating a number of people with gunshot wounds just come in.
South Valley Medical Center took the 2 transfers for St. Louis, and then we received another 5 gunshot victims. These patients came by ambulance or helicopter and are being treated for their wounds. Their conditions range from critical to fair at this time.
We will keep you obviously updated on that as new information comes to light throughout the program. Text has come in asking whether this is back to the rugby. A text has come in asking whether the South African player that took Retallick out has been cited. I don't know. I don't think so, and I don't think that they're likely to be cited either, because if you listen to what Steve Hansen said when he was asked about it, he said he didn't think it was going to happen, and it's a big boys game, and this kind of thing does happen. Bevan has sent a text through saying this is on the cancer agency. Hi Heather, I really don't care what political party has a genuinely good idea which is affordable to implement. Just do it. The longer this lack of action by all political parties the last couple of decades goes on, it gives fuel to the thought that they do nothing. We need them to do. That's absolutely true, and I couldn't agree more. I don't care who came up with the idea, but if it makes profits, get on and do the bloody thing. It's 23 to 5.
Wait a minute. Listen. It's the World Wire on News Talk ZB Drive.
At least 3 people are believed dead and more than a dozen injured in the active shooter situation in California. A gunman was witnessed opening fire at a festival in Gilroy. Former Secret Service agent Jonathan Wackrow says finding the suspect will be a challenge for law enforcement.
The suspect could potentially be hiding within the crowd itself. So the law enforcement really has to take a very systematic approach as to how they're going to basically build out from the center of the attack, going outwards in concentric circles to understand where this individual is. Are they on the run? Are they hiding someplace?
Violent clashes have occurred between police and protesters in Hong Kong. It's the 8th consecutive week of protests in the city. One of the organisers of the 2014 umbrella protests says he's unsurprised to see continued unrest in Hong Kong.
Now, protests, rallies, demonstrations continue for 8 weeks. I would describe a summer of discontent to Beijing and Hong Kong government. The ultimate goal is free election. Leader of Hong Kong should be elected instead of appointed by Beijing authorities. That's what we ask for.
At least 13 civilians, including 5 children, have been killed in Syria in Russian and Syrian air raids, over the weekend. The raids were targeting the town of Idlib, which is a rebel-held territory. The town's inhabitants say the raids are disproportionately affecting civilians.
There are no rebel bases or fighters here. This is a residential neighborhood. Look, children live here. What is their crime? The Syrian people are being bombed by planes, and the UN remains silent.
And finally...
Ladies and gentlemen, there's no way anyone
Kyle Booga Geersdorf has won over 4.5 million New Zealand dollars as the inaugural world champion of Fortnite. He beat 99 competitors in the final of the solo event this morning, held at Arthur Ashe Stadium in New York. Kiwi players Cover H and Twiz, you'll recognise them, finished in last place in the final, but still won in the duos final, but still won over $76,000 each. Good work.
International correspondent on News Talk ZB.
Joining me now from Australia is Oliver Peterson, 6PR Perth Live presenter. Hiya, Ollie.
G'day there, Heather. How you going?
Good, thank you. So we were talking about doping with swimmers, and now we're talking about doping with Australian swimmers.
Yeah, this is really disappointing. We obviously pride ourselves here in Australia on being clean, and we pride ourselves on playing by the rules. And you've got to be perfectly honest, we feel completely let down as a country today, learning that one of our own, Shayna Jack, has tested positive to 2 samples of what's known as ligandrol, which builds muscle mass. She claims it was in a contaminated supplement. She says, I did not and would not cheat, and I will continue to fight to clear her name. Regardless, we've all seen what's happened at the swimming championships over the last week. The very public stance taken by the Australian swimmer Mac Horton against Sun Yang. You and I spoke about this last week as well, Heather, and it's just very, very disappointing, and it puts Swimming Australia and the whole country in a very, very difficult position. One, when Swimming Australia knew about this weeks ago, why didn't they come clean with the Australian public? And two, is there a cover-up? At the moment, they're saying they've done this to the letter of the law. They have to allow Shayna Jack the opportunity to get legal representation and take this on herself, and it's up to her to disclose this publicly when she chooses to do so. But it just is an awful situation, and certainly Swimming Australia have handled this terribly, throwing out the Captain Kate Campbell yesterday. The CEO didn't front the media till late yesterday. It's just awful. We, as I say, feel completely let down in Australia today.
Ollie, if she hadn't come clean on it, could it feasibly have stayed quiet forever?
Well, that's the question being asked. It's a very good question you raised, Heather, because she departed from this training camp for personal reasons. This, however, leaked as it would leak. I know Channel 9 News was about to break the story on Saturday afternoon when Swimming Australia decided, oh no, we better do something about it, and it just ruins the rest of the competition. So, you know, we stand up here with a lot of bravado, and as I say, we like to claim that we're clean and we don't cheat. But you just, again, feel let down by the swimmers. Obviously what happened in the cricket over 12 months ago, you know, fingers can be pointed towards us, deservedly so, because we try to say that we're clean and we play by the rules. But, yeah, again, you feel very, very let down as an Australian today.
Yeah, absolutely, because this is one of the criticisms of Sun Yang and Chinese swimming for exactly the same thing, right? That he was stood down for doping, and it was kept secret for years or whatever, and the same thing plays out here.
Yeah.
When I say here, I mean with you, obviously, not with us. Don't want to rope us into that.